Hi. Today I'd like to talk about some herbs to help with preventing catching colds, flus, and the COVID-19 virus that's spreading around the world at the moment. So there's a lot of natural ways we can help enhance our immune system and have herbs that help fight viruses, or herbs as they say in America. So I'd like to go through about 10 of them today, just to cover some very important things that you can do in a natural way to help increase your immune system and help viruses. So I have my pot here that I'm going to be making a tea out of, and I'm going to go through a bunch of different herbs with you. The first herb we're going to cover today is rosemary. Rosemary is a great herb. We put these in about 4 or 5 years ago, and I've got them all over the garden. This is our Raynor Naturopathic garden in the Palms, Australia. So what we can do, there's quite a few different types of rosemary, but we can cut some of the tops off the rosemary and make it into a tea. And this has a very, very strong properties to fight viruses and to enhance your immunity and basically kill off germs. So I highly recommend rosemary as a preventative tea. It has a thing called oleanolic acid in there, which has very strong antiviral properties. It's also a very, very good herb for helping to sharpen the mind and memory. It enhances your memory, it enhances your mental clarity, which is also a very important thing at any stage. So what we're going to do is just cut some of these bits off here and then put them into our tea pot, which we're going to boil these up. We're not really going to boil them too much. We're going to put them into, boil the water and then let it steep for a little while. And that's the best way with a lot of these herbs to basically prepare them. You don't want to overboil them because that will kill some of the good properties. Okay, so just cut off a few tips, and there we've got some rosemary in our teapot. Okay. Here's another example of rosemary, and this one's actually flowering. Interestingly enough, in the flower essence therapy, rosemary flower essences are used for things like a foggy mind, or not clear in your mind, difficulty feeling awake. So what we could do later is put those flowers into some water, some spring water, infuse them for the day, and then preserve them and make a flower essence out of them. So this is a different rosemary plant, just over from the other one there. And I'm going to get a few of these as well because they just seems a little bit different. So they're going to go into our pot. There we go. And one more. Okay. So we've got quite a bit there, but we're going to make a bit of tea. This plant here is known as mother of herb, but it also goes by the name of Indian borage, five spice, queen of herbs, country borage, Spanish thyme or Spanish sage, and it's native to southern and eastern Africa. The botanical name is Plectranthus ambornicus. Now this has been used for things like chronic cough and asthma. It tastes a lot like oregano or oregano. And it's very, very powerful just to clean phlegm. It's obviously growing in amongst our rosemary here, or one of our rosemaries. And it's a very, very powerful herb. You can actually have one leaf and eat it. It doesn't taste very nice, but you can just pick a leaf like that. Here we go. And then I could eat that. So here we go. Here we have this mother of herb leaf. And we just eat it. It tastes like oregano or oregano or a bunch of other different things. It's not very pleasant, but it'll kill anything. I can see why it would kill anything. But what I'm going to do is just grab a couple leaves as well and put them in our tea. Okay, so we've got some rosemary, and we'll have a few of these mother of herbs. Okay, so the next herb we're going to look at is actually a tree called lemon myrtle, or Bacchausia citridoria is the botanical name. It's native to northern New South Wales and southern Queensland in Australia, and it's an incredibly potent herb for killing viruses and bacteria and other germs. And so basically they've used it in some hospitals to actually disinfect the areas and that sort of thing. So people are using the essential oil of this as well. It's a very strong essential oil. It can actually burn through plastic. So what we're going to do is cut some of the new growth off here. And I think I'll go for down here. So just getting a few leaves into our teapot, and I could even just cut the leaves off as well. So just, instead of cutting a whole branch, take a few of the mature leaves. And yeah, this is a fantastic herb. So yeah, with Bacchausia citridoria, or lemon myrtle, it strengthens the immune system as well as kills viruses. Its studies have shown to kill a virus called molluscum contagiosum, which is like a skin virus. Contains an oil called citral oil. So yeah, highly recommend this tree to either grow it or get some cuttings and make a tea out of it. Another very important tree that we can use the leaves for, people use actually leaves, bark, roots of this tree, is called the neem tree. So neem is a very bitter tree. It has a bitter taste. It's used in toothpaste in India. Mahatma Gandhi really believed that it had a multitude of uses, and that should be investigated further. But it's been definitely shown to have a lot of antiviral properties. They use neem actually also in organic gardening to kill a lot of different pests, so it's a pesticide. And what you can do if you're feeling brave is you can actually eat one or two leaves per day. It's very bitter, and that bitterness is what kills a lot of things. So we've got quite a nice variety of this tree. It's only about 4 or 5 years old. They do grow into huge trees, and you can see a lot of new growth because we've just had a lot of rain here in Australia. But I'm going to take a relatively new growth leaf like this one here, and I'll eat that. So here I am with this neem leaf. It's going to be bitter, but it's going to be good for me. People also use the stems of the neem leaf in India to clean between their teeth, because the neem oil can actually act as a killer of the bacteria that causes cavities. I've had a few people over at my property, and when they first eat it, it doesn't taste too bad. It takes a little while, and that bitterness, like right now, is starting to really kick in. I'm kind of used to it, but oh, it's strong. So that's neem. We could put that into our tea as well. Grab a couple more leaves and put that in our tea. So I'm going to grab just a couple leaves here. It's very strong. You don't need too much. And I'll put those leaves into, just put them in there, and going to get some more herbs as well. All right, now we're going to add another herb. This is called lemon verbena. It does have mild antiviral properties, and awakening properties, cleansing properties. It has actions against dengue and yellow fever, and it adds a nice taste to the tea. That's the other thing, is we want to make this tea drinkable. And lemon verbena is a beautiful herb. It grows really well in Australia. It survived throughout our drought that we just had, terrible drought. And of course now we got rain, everything's growing, but it actually survived throughout the entire drought. So that's another important thing. It grows really well, adds a great flavor, and it also has the antiviral properties. So we're gonna just take a few leaves, probably just cut a few stems off, and then add them to our tea as well. So I might get this one here. Figure out where that went. There it is. And then I might get this one and this one. And this one and this one. And for good luck, one more. Okay, so we're getting quite a potent little tea thing here, and we're going to add some more herbs. Another remedy that can't be overlooked is eucalyptus. There's a small eucalyptus tree, but actually we live in a whole eucalyptus forest here. You can see eucalyptus trees are all around. Quite a few different species of eucalyptus, more than 200. You see some of them are quite big trees. But here, obviously, we can't harvest the tall trees, so this is a small one. And we could take a couple of these leaves, and then we can actually make a special thing where we put it into hot water and put our head over the hot water, inhaling the steam of these leaves, and then a towel over our head, so we can also just crush them and smell them, and we can smell that beautiful eucalyptus smell coming forth from them. So eucalyptus is extremely antiviral, cleans the respiratory system, and it's very good for us for enhancing the immune system. So yeah, eucalyptus. So what we're going to look at now is lemongrass. Lemongrass has citral elements to it, which also contain antiviral properties. It increases immunity, treats infections, provides relief to fever. It's been used for a long time in both ancient India and China, and it's going to also add a nice flavor to our tea. The major components that fight viral things are citral and citronellyl acids. Or maybe not acid. Citral and citronellyl. So we're going to just cut some leaves. Okay, so I just gather those, put them in here. Maybe get a couple more. We can gather them up. So again, these should only be boiled, just bring to the boil and then steeped, okay? So that we don't ruin a lot of the important qualities here. Something to think about as well is, if you are interested in learning more about herbal medicine, we have a herbal medicine course available, which will teach you all about this. And I think there's a lot more to it too. We have a lot more herbs that we'd like to talk about in the garden. So yeah, see below for details of our herbal medicine course. So now I'm going to put some water into the tea. And then what I'm going to do is put it on the stove for a little while. So here we have the tea ready to boil. So I'll put some water in there. I might add some more water later. And then I'm going to bring it to the boil. And then, so now we have the herbs boiling. So I've got the gas cooker on there. And we're going to boil this tea for about 20 minutes till it starts to come to the boil. So now we can have a taste of our tea. I haven't filtered it. I'm not really worried, but you can if you want. If you don't want the leafy bits, just use a tea filter, and we'll see how that tastes. So now we'll see how our tea tastes. It's quite nice, actually.